2020. What a year. This is most certainly not the conference that we expected to be bringing to you, nor is this the way in which we ever imagined we would bring it to you. But I'm thankful that we are able to connect in this way, unexpected as it is. As I mentioned in the conference welcome, we're looking forward to gathering on campus again next summer and presenting Bioethics and the Body. Please join us. So let me briefly outline some of the questions and ideas that guided us in setting up today's lectures. I mentioned previously the fact that uncertainty and unknowns have been hallmarks of the past several months. How does the disease spread? What are its effects? What treatments are effective? What might a vaccine look like? How might one be developed? Is there any way to speed up the timeline? Donal Omahuna will address these and many other questions and issues in the lecture that immediately follows this one. Another term that's been used to describe our current situation is apocalypse. Of course, when you hear this term, you may think of the end of days. However, as you've likely heard in a sermon from the book of Revelation, the origins of the word actually mean to uncover or to unveil. Indeed, COVID-19 has been an unveiling. It has unveiled our lack of control, our lack of certainty, our lack of preparation, and much else. More directly to our topic today, it has served to further unveil disparities in health and health care, both in the United States and around the globe. In what do these disparities consist? What factors have led us to such inequities? What are the larger consequences of inequities and disparities? How might they be addressed? Dr. Faith Fletcher will address disparities and inequities in the U.S. context, highlighting in particular those who live in risk due to complex, integrated, and overlapping social structures and economic systems. As I'm sure you can tell from this brief description, this is a particularly interesting and important talk at this moment. I am very grateful to Dr. Fletcher for her willingness to bring her expertise to bear on these matters for us. And again, Dr. Fletcher is planning to be available on the chat function during her talk. Drs. Muma and Waseke, physicians at AIC Kenjabi Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya, will bring us a first-hand report on the situation on the ground there. They'll share with us not only the specific challenges they're facing, but also the ethical tools that they're employing as they approach some very difficult decisions. One of the first topics that came to my mind regarding COVID was that of moral distress and moral injury. In what ways have healthcare workers experienced these in the midst of the pandemic, and how might they be addressed? This is a pressing concern, and many who work on these topics are very busy putting their work into action. Dr. Winnicke Leiden will be sharing his research and work with us on these topics, all the way from the University of Pardubice in the Czech Republic. One of the courses that I teach in the bioethics degree program is bioethics and public policy. Now, probably the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear public policy is either legislative activity, the laws that are passed, or the activities of various courts, like landmark cases that have affected various issues in bioethics. However, another important and often overlooked aspect of public policy are the administrative rules that are put in place by various departments of our government. David Himes of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services will be addressing the role and place of administrative rules in the midst of COVID-19. It is especially important in times of crisis, if we are able, to take a step back and examine some of the core issues that influence both our ways of thinking and our ways of acting. Matthew Lee Anderson is going to provide just that as he provides an exploration of the infinite value of human life, which of course has implications for COVID-19 and far beyond. COVID-19 has pushed hospitals, hospital systems, and other healthcare institutions to revisit and re-examine their triage policies. Shane Onerecker, who happens to be the chair of the CBHD Healthcare Ethics Council, among many other roles, has done a deep dive into many triage policies. He'll be sharing his findings with us so that we might come to a better understanding and so that in whatever way we're positioned to, we might work to be better prepared ethically for the next pandemic. Finally, I'll be back to conclude the conference. I'll provide a few pointers toward ways in which we might move forward from a conference like this and offer some final thoughts. In closing, let me say again how grateful I am for the opportunity to present such an exceptional group of scholars to address this situation. Thank you.